To welcome next the founder and spiritual director of the Agape International Spiritual Center and the Association of Global New Thought, the Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith, please. Reverend Beckwith.
Mr. President, all of the excellencies and all of the members and all of the speakers, it's my joy to greet you in the power of the presence of the Most High God that lives and breathes and moves through us all. That transcended presence that, of course, recreated itself in its own image and likeness and named itself, each and every one of us, with such potentiality to express the peace, the love, the joy, the wisdom, and harmony that emanates from its very being. That each and every individual in this room perfectly reflects the cosmos in a way that has never, ever happened before, if we will but let it. If we will but practice the spiritual paths that we're on and go deep enough to allow that which is in the holy scriptures of all of the religions that have been mentioned and have been represented here today, if we could go deep enough in our spiritual practice and open ourselves up to the insights and the revelations that are continually bombarding our awareness, then everything that we have been talking about here today will unfold like a mighty river moving downhill. We are here today to open ourselves up to that possibility during this particular week, which has been designated as a week of harmony among the faiths. The speaker that went before me, I think, was the first speaker that kept under 5 minutes. I will try to be the second. The wise words of Dr. Hans Kung, the professor of ecumenical theology and president of the Foundation of Global Ethics, support this premise that there will be no peace among the nations without peace among the religions, and there will be no peace among the religions without dialogue among the religions. And today is our opportunity to participate with one another in such a dialogue and to spread that among all of us. And of course, peace is on two levels. There is a peace in which there is no conflict, but that's the surface level. And then there is the real peace. Real peace is the dynamic of harmonizing good. It is an emanation of the presence of God within us all, because each and every individual in this room knows that if you walk into a room and people are not arguing, you can tell if there's tension in the room. You can tell if there's bigotry in the room. You can tell if there's prejudice in the room. Peace is not in that room simply because there's no external conflict. Peace is the dynamic of harmonizing good. And that kind of peace emanates from a deep and profound spiritual practice that I just mentioned. It was Dr. Howard Thurman that reminded us that religion at its worst holds on to an exclusivity. Religion at its best allows us to meet at a common center where God and love and compassion prevail in each and every one of us. And so though science has turned this world into a wonderful, perhaps almost neighborhood, it is time for us to turn it into a spiritual brotherhood and a sisterhood by coming to understand the deep meaning of what I just mentioned, that peace is emanating from a dynamic insight and awareness. I want everyone to take a deep breath with me, right? Just take a deep breath and release. At that moment, you have met at the very center of your being. At that particular moment, you've met at the holy breath. At that particular moment, you're meeting at that which transcends religiosity, at that which transcends the external bounds of that which seems to separate us. If we are to really make of this world a sisterhood and a brotherhood, it means that we are to let our religions be a vehicle to the transcendent, and then allow that transcendent awareness of the one power, the one presence, the one love of which the children brought us to, because that music took us out of the intellect and into the awareness of the transcendent. That moment that we breathed together, we went out of the surface tension and into an awareness of the dynamic presence of God, compassion, love, wisdom, harmony, all synonyms for the one presence. In that instant, we can begin to walk together, to sing together, to dance together, to chant together, and then move into a collective action with the will and the willingness to make a mighty difference on this planet at this time in human history, when the dissolution of structures that no longer work are falling apart all around us, and the emergence of good can only be seen by those who have transcended the surface mind. I would say there are many of you like that in this room today. And so regardless of our religious background and persuasion, if it does not take us, if our practice is not taking us to the transcendent, we're not practicing our religion. And if the religion doesn't take us to the transcendent, then it's not a true path. We are here to walk together, to sing together, and as Dr. Thurman reminded us, to meet at the center and to see the presence of God in each and every one of us. God, not anthropomorphic, but a presence, not an absence. Peace and blessings to all of you. Thank you.
We thank you very much, the Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. Thank you. Let's put our hands together for him one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, the final pillar that guides and directs and energizes the work of the President of the General Assembly, and which he has been trying to highlight with every member state, every government, is the issue of sustainable development and global prosperity. And this is a subject that's becoming increasingly important and topical as the whole world is preparing for the UN Conference on Sustainable Development, simply known as Rio+20, to be hosted by Brazil in June this year. And so it's my pleasure, timely pleasure right now, to welcome the distinguished speaker on this subject, the permanent representative of Brazil to the United Nations, Her Excellency, Ambassador Maria Luisa Ribeiro Viotti. Please put your hands together and welcome Ambassador Ribeiro Viotti.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure for me to be here today and to be a part of this beautiful event and to address you on sustainable development. Brazil, a multicultural, multi-ethnic, and multi-religious society, welcomes this initiative by the President of the General Assembly. Brazil will have the privilege of hosting the Rio+20 conference next June. Sustained and widespread future prosperity will require new thinking about global economic development and major reforms in global economic governance. The word change has been heard repeatedly here today, and Rio+20 is also about change, transformational change. It is about thinking anew and harmonizing conflicting interests. This is the gist of what Rio+20 is about. A central concern of the new thinking that will be the need to balance material wealth improvements with protection of the natural environment and with redoubled efforts to ensure social equity and justice. Sustainable development should be about that. And if it is, it can be a tool to effect that necessary shift, provided that each country's needs are taken into account. Civil society, including religious organizations and institutions, have an important role to play in the conference and the implementation of its outcomes. Civil society can promote and mobilize support for sustainable patterns of production and consumption, a central element of sustainable development, as well as inclusive economies that affect social justice. They must be engaged and empowered to effectively participate in the debate and the implementation of sustainable development. Civil society participation is essential to strengthen and renew multilateralism. Civil society has been a decisive factor in shaping the debates on the international agenda as well as a key participant in the discussions and decision-making in international processes. Civil society's role has been particularly relevant in forums devoted to sustainable development, having been instrumental in the consolidation of the concept of sustainable development itself during the Rio Conference in 1992, also called the Earth Summit, and following that conference.
Thank you.
Since then, civil society has assumed an increasingly decisive role in multilateral fora, acting as a key driver of social mobilization on pressing issues and assisting in the implementation of decisions. Civil society's significant capacity for mobilization, action, and reflection could be more effectively integrated in the work of multilateral organizations, which should endeavor to promote even higher levels of participation. Stakeholder participation should be at the center of the discussions in Rio next June and on the institutional framework for sustainable development. Brazil hopes Rio +20 brings a broader framework for accountability in which all stakeholders should be involved. To conclude, I would like to invite all of you to be part of our collective efforts to make Rio +20 a success. Thank you.
Muito obrigado. Many thanks to you, Your Excellency, Ambassador Maria Luisa Ribeiro Viotti of Brazil. We thank you very much, and we are hoping in harmony that Rio +20 will deliver and be a success. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment we will have the President of the General Assembly to give very brief concluding remarks, to be followed by music from the Salvation Army Staff Band. But before that, we have come to a very special part of this event, marking World Interfaith Harmony Week. We have two members of the coordinating committee, or the team for this event. They will come and take us through the next few minutes and explain everything that is going to happen. And I'm glad you will enjoy what they are going to do, and it's very significant. Let me invite to the podium now the Reverend Deborah Moldo of the World Peace Prayer Society, and also Dr. Tajuddin Hamad, who is the Secretary General of the Universal Peace Federation. Dr. Hamad, Reverend Moldo, the stage is yours.
Good afternoon.
To illustrate our common ground upon which we stand for the common good, representatives of diverse religious traditions and spiritual expressions will now step forward to water a tree, symbolic of life upon our beautiful planet. From different religions and faiths, they will pour their wisdom, hope, and healing to nourish a tree that represents the work of the United Nations, as well as all humanity and all life on earth.
We ask all of you here today, as well as those who are viewing the webcast from afar, to hold in your heart during this simple ceremony your own vision of interfaith harmony in a world at peace. We are very honored today to introduce at this time the very special living music of Mr. Paul Winter. let us begin.
On behalf of the Christian people, Sister John Kirby of the Temple of Understanding.
On behalf of the Muslim people, Sheikh Omar S. Abu Namus, Imam of the Islamic Cultural Center of New York.
On behalf of the Hindu people, Swami Sri Lalitambika, Devi of Lalitamba Mandirya.
On behalf of the Buddhist people, Hiro Sakurai of Soka Gakkai International.
On behalf of the indigenous people, Jacqueline Wolf Tice of the Chickamauga Cherokee.
On behalf of the Sikh people, Satkiran Kaur Khalsa of Sikh Dharma worldwide.
On behalf of the Jewish people, Judith M. Hertz of the Union for Reform Judaism.
On behalf of the Baha'i people, Carl Morell of the Baha'is of the United States.
On behalf of the Jain people, Vaishali Shah of the International Marivana Jain Mission.
On behalf of the Shinto people, Reverend Masafumi Nakanishi of the International Shinto Foundation.
On behalf of the Zoroastrian people, Homi Gandhi of the Federation of the Zoroastrian Associations of North America.
We now invite to the stage any of our speakers today who would like to join us, as well as members of our planning team, as we close this ceremony with the music of Paul Winter. Please come to the stage, speakers. Join us. Mr. Paul Winter.
We thank each and every one of you for taking part in this expression of nurturing our common ground for the common good. Let us all bring this vision of interfaith harmony forward into our work, our life, and into the future.
May peace prevail on earth. Thank you.
I think we can do better than that to just thank them. We want to really thank you very much. Thank you very much. We thank Deborah Moldo, Tajuddin Hamad, Paul Winter, and all our distinguished speakers, coordinators, all the guests and participants. I cannot do the proper thanks. That is left to my big boss, who is the president of the UN General Assembly, His Excellency, Mr. Nassir Abdulaziz Al-Nasser. Please, we welcome you for your concluding remarks.
What a beautiful day for all of us together in the General Assembly of United Nations. And I would like to express my thanks to all of you for your valuable contribution today to discuss peace and harmony, and God bless you all. I would like to offer special thanks to His Majesty King Abdullah of Jordan for his initiative for interfaith harmony. And also very special thanks for the children who participate in this event. As we close the 2012 World Interfaith Harmony Week. I would like to offer my sincere thanks to all the distinguished speakers, interfaith leaders, and performers in today's program. Many of you traveled great distance to share this occasion and to help celebrate the splendid diversity of our human family. I also extend my thanks to the coordinator team who brought together a rich and thought-provoking program. Today we have explored the common ground on which we can work towards the common good. We have heard uplifting stories of people working together, even in the face of armed conflict or natural disaster. We have heard voices of wisdom from our great faith traditions, calling us to a world of peace, justice, and environmental sustainability. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you will agree with me that we have revealed this common ground to be a vast territory. What we have achieved today is significant. A new alliance have been formed and new insights have been gained. Let each of us, those gathered here in this great hall, and those joining us on webcasts around the world, assume the advancement of interfaith harmony as our personal responsibility. As was so clearly demonstrated here today, the fruits of mutual understanding and interreligious dialogue provide great hope and opportunity to build a new era of peace for all humankind. I thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Shukran jazilan, many, many thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been fantastic. I think we all deserve a round of applause for participating in this Harmony Week event. As we come to the end, many, many thanks in harmony to all of you, to His Excellency, the President. We also thank the Deputy Secretary General who was with here, and every distinguished guest, every speaker. Once again, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is now my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen and excellencies, to introduce to you our final musical performance to bring everything to a harmonious end. I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, the Salvation Army Staff Band. Please, let's give them a round of applause. So, ladies and gentlemen, with thanks to the Salvation Army Staff Band, we wish all of you harmony this week, harmony this month, harmony for the rest of time. Please, we are closed. Enjoy yourselves, and God bless. Thank you.